He has been the English voice of terror for ISIS, and now it appears that Mohammed Khalifa, the narrator of those chilling videos, is Canadian. Rukmini Callimachi of the New York Times spoke with him for hours in Syria after he was captured, and she joins me now. Thank you so much for your time, Rukmini. The search for the infamous narrator of ISIS propaganda videos started more than 4 years ago. How was this Canadian man finally identified, and then how were you able to actually interview him?
Thank you, Jennifer. So more than 4 years ago, the FBI put up a notice to the public asking for the public's help in identifying this narrator. It was clear from the video that he had put out, that he had done the voiceover for, that he was most likely North American, either American or Canadian. Initially, there were, I don't believe, any hits. And the person who I think made the most progress in identifying him is a Toronto researcher named Amarnath Amarasingam, who realized that his accent was most likely Canadian. A couple of months ago, Amarnath was in Syria, just as I was, and he was able to interview another Canadian recruit to the group, another prisoner, who gave us a clue. He said that the narrator is a Canadian from Toronto of Ethiopian descent who goes by the nom de guerre Abu Ridwan. And just by chance, a couple of weeks ago, another Canadian man was captured on the battlefield. The forces that captured him asked him to record a confession video. And from that confession video, it was very easy to hear his voice and realize that it was the same voice as that on these famous ISIS videos. What I did is I was able to speak to him. He confessed to being the narrator. It was not easy to get it out of him. He didn't want to say that right away. And in addition, I sent the audio clip of him speaking now to 3 different audio forensic scientists who compared that audio to the clips in ISIS videos and confirmed that he is one and the same.
Wow. Naturally, Canadians are horrified to hear the connection to this country. And one of the big questions is what was his life in Canada like, as far as you were able to glean? And how did he end up in Syria in this position?
What I know is that he was born in Saudi Arabia to parents of African descent. He moved to the Toronto area when he was a child, I believe to the Regent's Park neighborhood of Toronto. He went on to go to Seneca College, where he got a diploma in computer studies. And then for a while, through his early to his mid to his late 20s, he was working for different computer companies, most of them IBM contractors. I was able to confirm that Kelly Services, which is a company in Markham, Ontario, did indeed hire somebody and employ somebody called Mohammed Khalifa in the period in which he said he was there. He claims that he began listening to the videos of Anwar al-Awlaki. This is a famous propagandist for Al-Qaeda. And that the thing that really put him over the edge was a YouTube video that he saw of British foreign fighters who were fighting in the Syrian civil war. It's a bit ironic because that video enticed him to go specifically because he saw English speakers. It's not unlike the videos that he would later narrate, which we believe recruited many others from English-speaking countries like Canada, North America, Australia, etc.
And I gather Khalifa initially tried to pass himself off as just a low-level translator for ISIS media ministry. So how significant do we now know his role was?
Look, he's the most identifiable voice in the English language that is associated with ISIS. He narrated a video called "The Flames of War," which was really one of ISIS's first major feature-length releases. It was a video that was 55 minutes long, and it's the video that I think really put ISIS on the map in terms of these Hollywood-esque releases that they would put out. It was filmed partly on the GoPro of an ISIS fighter, as he and his colleagues are taking over a Syrian military base. There's something very immersive about it, very exciting about it. It shows a small group of fighters overcoming enormous odds and winning in this particular battle. And we believe that video was instrumental in recruiting others.
So after researching this man and listening to countless hours of his voice on those propaganda videos, I have to ask you, what was it like to actually sit there in his presence for this extended interview?
What was really remarkable about it is that in these videos that he's narrated, he's full of braggadocio. These are videos where he's very defiant, where he's the voice of the Islamic State, essentially daring the West to come and meddle in their affairs. He's always talking about how ISIS will never be cowed. But in front of me, what I saw was a very thin, a very diminutive man. He had a sort of sheepish grin, almost childlike. He would giggle at times during the interview. So he was the exact opposite of what I assumed. But when I asked him if he regretted what he had done, he was very clear in telling me that no, he did not regret it, and that he was telling me that, and that he had already told that to both of his interrogators from the local militia that were holding him, that he had no regrets at all.
And any sense of any kind of connection or loyalty to family back in Canada or friends, the place where he studied?
He did not want to speak about family. He told me that he is married to a woman. He would not tell me whether she was Canadian. He said that she's of African descent. So it's possible that she's, originally from Ethiopia or Somalia, like him. He told me that he has 2 small children with her. And he was so nervous about her being identified that he would not answer my question as to whether she had escaped from the ISIS territory and was now in one of these detention camps, or whether she was still inside the last pocket of ISIS control.
Rukmini, this is fascinating journalism, and we appreciate you sharing some of it with us. Thank you for this.